Hello everyone, it's Jasmine and welcome back to my channel. I have got a really fun, adorable, cute card to make for you guys today. I needed a birthday card for one of my nephews. His birthday is in February. And looking through my stamp sets, this is one I haven't used before, so I was kind of excited to get coloring it and seeing what I could do with it. So this is the Greeting Farm Let It Snow stamp set, and I have the matching dies to it too. And I'm going to do some Copic coloring on the polar bear and two of the penguins out of this set. This is a really cute set, very versatile for any kind of winter holiday, but it's not isolated to Christmas. So I'm going to put some music on while you watch me color, and I made a real effort to put the caps of the markers that I'm using up on the screen so you can see them. But if you miss it, I'm going to have all of the markers listed and specifically where I use them on my blog. So if you're curious about that, just check over there and you'll find all the information for everything I used. I'm going to put some music on and I will catch back up with you in a second. Okay, so as I finish up the coloring on the second penguin here, I did get a little bit of bleeding from the nose into the very top of his face, and you'll see that here in just a second. What I did to kind of fix that was just waited until it dried, and then I went in with my colorless blender to kind of erase that, push it back in towards the gray. And then I did get a little bit of spotting there, so I just went back over it with my C00 marker to kind of blend that out and make it look nice and pretty and cute. I love these penguins because of the way they're drawn, that they're in motion. Like this one's looks like it's walking towards you, and the other one is kind of sliding over the ice on his behind, and that's kind of different from the usual penguin stamp sets we see. So this is kind of what drew my attention to it in the first place, and then it worked out perfectly for the kind of card I wanted to make. So I've got the matching dies to this stamp set, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those out using my Big Shot off camera. So now what I'm going to do is create the background, and I'm going to use 5 colors, and that's a lot, of Tim Holtz alcohol ink. These are a lot of fun and they're really easy to use, so you'll need whatever colors of ink you want. One tip for this is to, when you're using lighter colors with darker colors, try to use less of the dark because it'll overtake the lighter colors really easily. And when you're using the mixatives like the silver, gold, copper, and pearl, like this white one I have here, you should shake it up really well to kind of get all of the mica particles in it distributed evenly. And you'll also need the alcohol blending solution. And you kind of squirt that over, dip your glossy cardstock in, not picture cardstock, but glossy cardstock. They're different chemicals and the finishes on them, and the photo paper doesn't work. And then I just kind of go in until the ink dries up, which does happen fairly quickly. I got about 3 backgrounds out of this pile. So here's the very first one, and you can see all the kind of swirly movement you get with it, and I love that. So I've got them in my MISTI, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment, which is just let it snow, and that is from the same stamp set. And I've got that in some white pigment ink, and then I'm going to use some Stampendous Winter Wonderland embossing powder. And this is an opaque white with a little bit of glitter in it. It's really pretty. So I just wanted to show you that you can heat emboss on the glossy cardstock. It does warp a tiny bit, but you can kind of help prevent that as much as possible by letting your heat gun run for 30 to 60 seconds before applying it to your project. You've got higher heat for a short amount of time, which means less warping. I like this powder specifically because it doesn't get too, what's the word I want, too fat. When it melts, it stays nice and compact to the stamp set, so it doesn't get too fat, doesn't get too big. And some embossing powders can do that if the granules are too big. So the die I have here is from My Favorite Things. Hold on, let me find it. Surf and Slide die set. There's 6 different dies in that set, I believe, and it's got different lengths and different shapes of little slider openings you can cut in the cardstock. And those little discs I showed you are the Spin and Slide discs, also from My Favorite Things. And they're just tiny little plastic discs. I mean, they're like a 1/4 inch thick or so, and it allows you to kind of attach your slider element and give it a movement piece. So I've got some mini glue dots in my dispenser there, and they are just about exactly the same size as the surface of the slider dot, slider disc. So I kind of position my penguin to which position I want him to be as he slides through that opening, and then attach 2 discs because it's bigger. If you have a smaller element, then you could use just 1 disc. Attach those with glue dots on both sides, and then I will use a penny to anchor the penguin in the slot. There's my penny. I'm going to use foam tape to build up like a channel around my penny. And I lost a little bit of the footage in doing this, but you want to make sure that your penny has clearance around the foam tape. So this first strip here ended up being too wide, and I took it back off and had to trim off some of it so that it was thin enough to allow the penny to move freely. So with my leftover glue that I had on my craft mat, I just spread some on the back of the polar bear, and I stuck him down. I was going to put the second penguin on some foam tape so that he looked more like he was standing up in front of the polar bear, but that would have interfered with how far over the penguin can slide on the slider element. So I just adhered him flat with some score tape instead. I don't think it really took anything away from the design whatsoever. And with the slider piece in there, the card is pretty thick anyway. So if you were to mail this, it would be easier and safer to mail it, which is what I intend on doing anyway, with the penguin being flat versus up on foam tape. So you can see how easy he slides back and forth. And that is our card finished up. I did turn off the light here so you could see a little better the dimension with the coloring on the alcohol ink background. So let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions, and we will catch you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.